Thank you for joining us today. We're celebrating our beachside bungalow made by Real Good Toys with a focus on being environmentally friendly as well as trying to pay a tribute to Hawaii. And we'll be adding some of those wonderful features later on. Today you're seeing quite a few things, the supplies, and again, the beauty of these videos, you can stop and replay at any time. I was trying to make a rain barrel to focus on how we can recycle, repurpose our water, especially in Hawaii where there's a lot of rain. And so I took a small bottle that was my medicine bottle, and my husband hacksawed the top off of it, and then we decided to make a cap for it. And then we decided to make a cap for it. We use cardstock, adhesive vinyl that we purchased, I believe, at Joann.com, but it could also be from Hobby Lobby or Michael's or online. It's an adhesive foil. I find it really cool. I believe this was Joann's. Cut it out with a Cricut, as you'll see, and the beauty is you can go back as many times as you need. One thing I found with this particular foil, it wrinkles pretty quickly and easily, so I had to remove it from the backing, lay it down again, and then use the brayer to smooth it out before I cut it out on the machine. The lid that we cut off the medicine bottle would not fit back on, obviously, so we cut out the cap, as I mentioned before, out of cardstock, and then I covered it with the green. And when you go to put it back on, it's not going to be a tight fit, so I thought to make it cool, we used some jute and glued that to the top because there was a space around where the inside of the bottle was covered by the cardstock, and then just put the jute, and you'll see how beneficial that was as we go along. Then, something I had read online, and I'm sorry I cannot remember where I found it, but someone has taken water bottles and cut holes into them and turned it into a pipe of sorts to make that their drainage pipe from the roof to their rain barrel. So I thought, well, I have individual sterile eye drops that are used that I cleaned out and dried and put holes in them and put them together. So I tested it initially just to see how it was going to fit. Had to super glue them because they would not stay in place. And then I saw how it would look in the rain barrel with the lid open. Then I thought about it and said, if that were the real thing, I wouldn't do that. I'd have a lid with a hole in it. So I used some jewelry findings, used my X-Acto knife, cut a hole in the lid, and glued the findings in place. And then you'll see I took the backing, the silicone backing of earrings, and used that to help out with some of the attachments. Just played around, tried to see what worked the best, and try to make it look as neat as possible. And so you'll see quite a few pictures here. And again, if you need to stop and revisit it, go ahead. I could not find a lot of resources to tell me how to make a faucet or a hose, so I was trying to be creative on my own. And spent a lot of time researching. And these are all just the backings and the studs for the jewelry earrings. Now you see the hole, it's a tiny hole that I poked through the base of the basin, and then put the jewelry finding, and then took that plastic ear stem, poked it through to the outside, and that's going to be my connector piece. So obviously you're not going to run water in this. Now for a hose, my husband had some wire, electrical wire, wrapped it around a toothpick, and glued it to the earring stud as well as jewelry finding, and put that onto the rain barrel and then glued another piece to the end of the hose. Could paint it, but I figure hoses come in all different colors, shapes, and sizes these days, so it didn't really matter. But I like the fact that it has wire in it so I could coil it as best I can. Now, I dry fitted again to make sure everything was going to fit correctly. Decided to add just a little ring to the end of the eye drop hose so it would fit neatly. I'm not going to glue it in place because with grandkids they'll come and visit and they'll want to take it apart, and I want them to be able to play with it and enjoy it. So then what we did is I took an earring backing and glued it to the top of the lid so that it would, it was a hoop, so it would connect to the side into the jute, and I used just a little ring of metal to connect that so that I could keep the lid in place, and that's what we have. Hope you enjoy it. If you have questions, please let me know. If you like our site, please click like and subscribe so you can be updated as we get more videos loaded up, and or if you need to revisit, and tell your friends. Again, we're trying to make this environmentally friendly. We're trying to make it something that if you wanted to work with children and show them how to do something fun to represent how we can do things in our own homes, then maybe this will be beneficial. Thank you, mahalo, and have a good day.